fig tree in the garden leans toward morning. Its heavy leaves turn silver in the dew. I drink my coffee standing at the doorway, barefoot in the grass, like I always do. The figs are nearly ready, soft and swelling. Another week of sun and they'll be sweet. I've been watching them since early June. The way the season keeps its own slow beat. The fig tree garden, green and full of patience, where everything arrives in its own time. The fig tree garden, my slow morning blessing, a little piece of something close to divine. My neighbor calls across the garden fence. She's picking herbs for something she'll make later. We talk the easy way of people near, about the rain, the fruit, the taste of summer. These small transactions are the ones that matter. The basket wave, the offered sprig of time, the warmth of being known by someone nearby, the kind of life that happens all the time. The fig tree garden, green and full of patience, where everything arrives in its own time. The fig tree garden, my slow morning blessing, a little piece of something close to divine. I'll have to leave this garden someday, maybe. Move on to somewhere different, start again. But I'll carry every morning in this doorway, every fig, every barefoot, every friend. The fig tree garden, leaning toward the sunrise, the coffee cooling, the garden bright and still. Some mornings are so quietly perfect that they teach you how to find the others will. I washed my sheets on Sunday afternoon, hung them in the garden while they dried. The smell of soap and sunshine came in after, and by evening they were clean and white inside. There's something in the ritual of linen pressing into place. The way clean sheets feel like starting over, like finding something gentle in the space. Sunday linen, sun-dried and unhurried, the simplest kind of luxury I know. Sunday linen, soft against the morning, the thing that makes the rest of life feel whole. I made the bed with slow, deliberate care. 2 pillows, tucked corners, small precision. These ordinary acts of homekeeping are my most favorite kind of quiet mission. I know it's just a bed, just cotton, just a morning, but everything that's beautiful is just the small thing dressed in daily repetition, the kind of love that doesn't make a fuss. Sunday linen, sun-dried and unhurried, the simplest kind of luxury I know. Sunday linen, soft against the morning, the thing that makes the rest of life feel whole. Not everything you care for needs explaining. Not every beauty needs a reason why. Some things just make the world feel gently ordered, and Sunday linen is one of mine. Sunday linen, folded on the pillow, coffee in the kitchen, soft jazz on the radio. Sunday linen, the week ahead looks different when you started clean, content and slow. I found your note beside the coffee maker, 4 lines in pencil on a grocery slip. You'd written, "Gone to get the bread back shortly. Don't drink all the good stuff in one sip." I held it like a telegram from somewhere tender, a small dispatch from ordinary love, the kind of note that doesn't need a reason, 4 lines that are more than enough. A note left on the table, found at morning, the everyday equivalent of a song. A note left on the table, pencil writing, the proof that someone knew where I belong. I've kept the ones I shouldn't have forgotten, the notes that found me when I needed most. A handwriting as familiar as a heartbeat, a presence that outlasts the one who wrote. We send each other signals in the small hours, in grocery lists and little penciled lines. And sometimes what we mean to say is buried in the ordinary words between the lines. A note left on the table, keep writing notes and leaving them for someone. The kettle and the keys and the open door. The world is made of small acknowledged moments and handwriting that says I'm coming back for more. A note left on the table, bread arriving, coffee in 2 cups, morning side by side. A note left on the table, softly saying everything the two of us can't hide. I walked down to the harbor before breakfast. The fishermen were heading out to sea. The boats were riding low and full of mourning, and no one in that world was watching me. I bought a coffee from the harbor kiosk. The woman handed it without a smile. But there's a warmth in people used to early that makes you wanna stay here for a while. First light at the harbor, cold and golden. The nets being mended and the ropes being coiled. First light at the harbor, no one waiting, just the sea and the morning and the toil. The gulls were making their complaints already. The water silver black against the light. A man untied a rope with practiced fingers, doing what he'd done 1,000 nights. I watched until the last boat left the harbor, until the morning fully held the bay. There's something about witnessing a departure that makes you grateful for your ordinary day. First light at the harbor, cold and golden. The nets being mended and the ropes being coiled. First light at the harbor, no one waiting, just the sea and the morning and the toil. Some mornings you need witnesses to beauty, and other mornings you need to be alone. But harbor mornings feel like both at once, like watching something sacred going home. First light at the harbor, boats receding. The coffee finished, the cold air on my face. First light at the the harbor, morning widening, and me belonging to this small, good place. I always start the morning with the honey, one long slow pour that spirals in the cup. The amber ribbon catching in the sunlight before it disappears and sweetens up. My grandmother kept bees and sold the honey in small glass jars she labeled with her hand. The smell of summer mornings in a bottle, the sweetest thing she gave this piece of land. The honey jar, the morning's golden offering, the first sweet thing before the day gets bright. The honey jar, the color of the sunrise, a little warmth to carry through the light. I found her recipe book last November, a page of careful notes on how to care for bees and hives and early morning harvest, and how to tell the season in the air. I don't keep bees, I buy mine from the market, from a woman with a stall beside the square. But every spoonful carries something older, a sweetness handed down through all those years. The honey jar, the morning's golden offering, the first sweet thing before the day gets bright. The honey jar, the color of the sunrise, a little warmth to carry through the light. The bees are out there now in someone's garden, making something from the open flowers. And all that patient labor becomes sweetness, distilled from sunlight and from all those hours. The honey jar beside my morning coffee, the amber light across the kitchen floor. The honey jar, my small sweet daily practice, tasting everything I love and want still more. They always say the kettle won't boil faster if you stand there watching it too long. But I stand there anyway, I always have. It's where I do my thinking, right or wrong. 2 minutes at the kettle every morning, where the plans and worries surface for a while. Then the water boils and it all dissolves into something manageable, something mild. Watching the kettle, waiting for the morning, when the steam begins to rise and the day begins. Watching the kettle, all my little worries dissolving in the water and the din. I've made decisions standing at the kettle. I've thought through arguments and let them go. I've forgiven things I didn't know I needed to forgive until the kettle told me so. There's something in that pause before the boiling, the near but not quite, that I've learned to love. The anticipation of the warmth that's coming is half the gift of what will be enough. Watching the kettle, waiting for the morning, when the steam begins to rise and the day begins. Watching the kettle, all my little worries dissolving in the water and the din. Let the watched kettle boil in its own time. Let the morning come without your help or haste. The best part of the day is in the waiting, the held breath, and the slow, unhurried taste. Watching the kettle, the click and the steam, the pour and the settle, the warmth in my hands. Watching the kettle, I know what I'm thinking, and now I understand. The cherry trees came out in one warm afternoon. The whole street pink and white overnight. I sat on the front step with my tea and watched them, astonished at how quickly beautiful takes flight. April has that quality of urgent tenderness, the world deciding all at once to bloom. And you can either be inside and miss it, or you can pull your chair out to the room. An afternoon in April, petals falling, the kind of day that doesn't come again. An afternoon in April, soft and golden, the world in full before the next late rain. The child came down the street in yellow boots. She stopped beneath the biggest tree and laughed. The petals fell around her like a snowstorm, and she just stood there with her arms held fast. I thought that's all of April right there, isn't it? The wide arms and the upturned laughing face. The world is giving everything it has to you, and you give back by taking up your space. An afternoon in April, petals falling, the kind of day that doesn't come again. An afternoon in April, soft and golden, the world in full before the next late rain. I'll forget the year, but not the afternoon. The tea going cold and the child in yellow boots. The cherry trees in their brief annual glory, and the way the afternoon put down its roots. An afternoon in April, ending gently, the street gone quiet, the petals on the ground. An afternoon in April, given freely, the most beautiful afternoon I've found. I got the Quiet Compartment by good fortune, the one where no one else had claimed a seat. I put my bag up and I took the window and watched the platform disappear in the heat. Train journeys have a quality of thinking, the rhythm of the rails beneath your feet. The world outside becoming soft and blurry, the world inside becoming more complete. The quiet compartment, moving through the morning, just me and all the miles going past. The quiet compartment, gently rocking, a rare and unhurried kind of peace that lasts. I watch the fields go by, then towns, then rivers, the ordinary landscape in between. The kind of beauty that you don't remark on, but that stays with you in ways you'd never dream. Someone left a book wedged in the seat back, 3 pages dogged where they lost their place. I like the evidence of other people's journeys, the small abandoned traces that they leave. The quiet compartment, moving through the morning, just me and all the miles going past. The quiet compartment, gently rocking, a rare and unhurried kind of peace that lasts. Give me a window and a train in motion, and I'll think through everything I've left undone. The tracks know where they're going without asking, and so sometimes do I when I'm alone. The quiet compartment, the city receding, the countryside arriving vast and green. The quiet compartment, all to myself. The best few hours I've had in between. For the perfect soft-boiled egg. I know because I've tried them every way. And all of life, it seems to me, is practice of getting the timing right someday. My mother swore by 7, I say 4. And we have argued this since I was 10. The soft-boiled egg is a matter of conviction, that no one wins and everyone tries again. Soft-boiled and slow, the morning taking its time, the toast already golden, the coffee ready now. Soft-boiled and slow, the only way I know to start a day that knows not what or how. I eat it with a spoon I've had for decades, a silver spoon too small for any other task. My grandmother ate hers the same way. Some inheritances you don't have to ask. The yolk runs gold and soft into the white, and everything is right for 30 seconds. Then I'm on to the next moment and the next, and the morning takes its ordinary reckoning. Soft-boiled and slow, the morning taking its time, the toast already golden, the coffee ready now. or how. 4 minutes is a meditation. 4 minutes is a practice of restraint. 4 minutes is the patience that the morning requires of those who want to start things right. Soft, boiled and slow, the shell between my fingers, the morning asking nothing more of me. Soft, boiled and slow, the world outside is waiting, but right now, breakfast, and I'm free. My grandmother was a lighthouse keeper's daughter. She grew up where the sea met all the sky. She counted ships and knew the names of weathers, and always kept an eye on what passed by. She taught me how to read the light on water, how gray means distance and blue means calm, how the sound the ocean makes before a storm comes is different from the ordinary song. The lighthouse keeper's daughter, watching horizons, reading every season in the sky. The lighthouse keeper's daughter in me still, teaching me to watch and stand nearby. She made her tea in that particular way, strong and left to stand before she poured it. She'd drink it at the window, looking seaward, the way you look at something you've adored. I don't live near the water now, but sometimes in the early morning quiet of my room, I think I see the light she must have watched for, and feel the sea the way she used to bloom. The lighthouse keeper's daughter, watching horizons, reading every season in the sky. The lighthouse keeper's daughter in me still, teaching me to watch and stand nearby. Some people leave you libraries or money. Some people leave you ways of seeing things. My grandmother left me the ocean morning and all the quiet watching that it brings. The lighthouse keeper's daughter in the light, in the strong tea and the window and the sea. The December gives us barely any daylight, 6 short hours of silver winter thin. I've learned to use it all with something precious, like borrowed light you're careful not to spend. I take my coffee to the window early, the moment that the darkness starts to lift, and watch the sky turn gray, then rose, then golden, the most deliberate of morning gifts. Borrowed daylight, counting every hour, the winter sun that barely clears the trees. Borrowed daylight, sweeter for its shortness, the thing you value most, the less you see. By afternoon the dark comes back around again. The lamps go on, the world retreats inside. But those 6 hours were full and warmly given, and I held every one of them with pride. There's something clarifying about winter, about the way it shows you what's essential. When there's less of everything you care for more, and beauty becomes almost reverential. Borrowed daylight, counting every hour, the winter sun that barely clears the trees. Borrowed daylight, sweeter for its shortness, the thing you value most, the less you see. All light is borrowed in the end from somewhere. All warmth is borrowed from a closer star. But winter teaches you to use it better, and love the light exactly as it are. Borrowed daylight, low and long and golden, a few more hours before the dark comes down. Borrowed daylight, use it while you have it, the most beautiful December in the town. Some mornings are just marmalade, not honey, bright and bitter at the edges, tart and real. Not every morning is the soft, sweet sunrise. Some are better for the sharp, familiar feel. I spread it thick on toast that's still quite warm, the bittersweet that wakes me up for good. Not everything that's perfect has to be gentle. Some mornings just require to be understood. The marmalade morning, sharp and citrus golden, kind of beautiful that bites a bit. The marmalade morning, brilliantly ordinary. The bright, particular flavor of it. My aunt had marmalade on the kitchen windowsill, made it every January from the bitter oranges. The kitchen smelling sharp and steaming beautiful, and her content among the jars and ranges. She gave one jar each year to everyone she loved, the labels written in her crooked hand. I've never tasted anything as given as something made from scratch on Winterland. A marmalade morning, sharp and citrus golden, the kind of beautiful that bites a bit. The marmalade morning, brilliantly ordinary. The bright, particular flavor of it. Let your mornings have a little bitter in them. Not every day needs to be soft and mild. Sometimes the sharp, honest awakening is the thing that made the morning worth the while. The marmalade morning, toast gone cold already. The coffee second cup, the light gone long. The marmalade morning, exactly right. The bright, particular taste of where I belong. I brewed the tea too long and it went amber, the color of the maple by the gate. I held the cup two-handed in the kitchen and thought, this is what autumn tastes like late. The leaves outside were doing their slow falling. A yellow one came loose and caught the air and landed on the sill outside the window, as if the season knew exactly where. Autumn in a teacup, deep and golden, the smell of leaves and something almost cold. Autumn in a teacup, quietly given, a whole season held inside a bowl. I took the cup outside and sat on the steps, let the afternoon come over me and settle. October has a way of sitting with you that April with its brightness can't quite better. The light was going low and blue and slanted, the garden half in shadow, half in sun. And in between the shadow and the sunshine, a small perfection just about done. Autumn in a teacup, deep and golden, the smell of leaves and something almost cold. Autumn in a teacup, quietly given, a whole season held inside a bowl. Every season hides inside a flavor. Every morning has a color you can name. Autumn lives in amber and in wood smoke, in the tea that never quite tastes quite the same. Autumn in a teacup, the cup gone empty, the garden going gently into dark. Autumn in a teacup, in my hand still, spark. A stack of books beside the bedside, their bookmarks frozen midway through the plots. I fell asleep inside them in the evenings, and in the morning find my pages lost. There's such a pleasure in the unread pages, all that story waiting to be known, the characters suspended in their living, all those lives not yet fully shown. The unread page, the best part of the morning, that edge of something just about to start. The unread page, the purest kind of hoping, a story keeping time inside my heart. I read 3 pages in the cafe Tuesday before the coffee came and took my focus, then put it down to watch the street outside, the book waiting with its quiet lotus. I'll get there, I'll find out how it all resolves. I'll sit one evening and devour the rest, but right now living is the better story, and the unread page will have to wait its test. The unread page, the best part of the morning, that edge of something just about to start. The unread page, the purest kind of hoping, a story keeping time inside my heart. Keep your books half open and unfinished, keep the middle of the story for a while. The ending will arrive when you are ready, but the unread page is worth every mile. The unread page, the bedside stack still standing, the bookmarks holding places I'll return. The unread page, the morning's invitation, another cup of coffee, another page to turn. I put on my old wool coat in November, the one I've had since I was 22. It smells of cedar and a little lavender, and morning's very different from this new. The wool is thick and the buttons are imperfect, one replaced with something close but not quite right. I love it more for all the small repairs that mark the years I've worn it through the night. Walking in wool, warm against the morning, the familiar weight of something old and loved. Walking in wool through every kind of weather, the best worn things are always good enough. I walked across the park in early morning, the frost still silver on the iron bench, the chestnuts heavy in the trees above me, the kind of cold that wakes and doesn't quench. My coat and I have covered many mornings. The market runs the late night cafe trips, the times I needed to wrap myself in something that asked for nothing more and offered this. Walking in wool, warm against the morning, the familiar weight of something old and loved. Walking in wool through every kind of weather, the best worn things are always good enough. Some clothes are armor, and some are just clothing, but the ones that know you feel like something else, like a letter written to your future body by your younger self who knew you'd need the help. Walking in wool, the park behind me, the coffee shop ahead and warm inside. Walking in wool, the whole day gathered round me, my old coat and I still side by side. There's a cafe down the cellar stairs on Rowan Street. The sign is small and easy to miss. You'd never find it if you weren't looking, or if someone hadn't mentioned it like this. The ceiling's low, the lamps are warm and amber, the table's mismatched, everything arranged by someone with good taste and no ambition for anything to ever be exchanged. The Cellar Door Cafe, going underground, where the sound of the street above goes soft. The Cellar Door Cafe, found and kept now, The best things are the hardest to come across. The woman at the counter knows the regulars. She doesn't write the orders, keeps them here. She'll bring you what you had before you've asked her. And that's the kind of service worth the cheer. I've been coming since September, 2 years running. When a friend first pulled me down those narrow stairs. I've never told a single other person. Some beautiful things are better kept with care. The cellar door cafe, going underground, where the sound of the street above goes soft. The cellar door cafe, found and kept now. The best things are the hardest to come across. There are rooms in every city worth discovering, hidden behind the ordinary face. And when you find one, hold it gently open and be grateful for the gift of hidden place. The cellar door cafe, the stairs behind me, the street returning, bright and cold and real. The cellar door cafe, still mine a little, taking all that warmth back up on my heel. She was folding paper cranes at the corner table, one by one, not looking at her hands. 100 cranes, she said, means one wish granted. That's the old Japanese wish-granting plan. I watched her fingers move without hesitation, the paper turning white bird in her palm. She'd made maybe 60 in the hour since morning, her coffee cooling in the early calm. Paper cranes and coffee, quiet morning, making something small and beautiful by hand. Paper cranes and coffee, patient dedication to a wish I'll never fully understand. I never learned to ask her what she's wishing. Some things deserve their privacy intact. She folded number 70 and smiled at nothing. A woman with a purpose and a knack. I think the wish is in the making itself, not in the 100th crane or in the grand but in the discipline of turning ordinary into something beautiful and lasting. Paper cranes and coffee, quiet morning, making something small and beautiful by hand. Paper cranes and coffee, patient dedication to a wish I'll never fully understand. We each have something we keep folding, folding against the days when hope runs low. Some people make their wishes out of paper, and some of us just let the mornings go. Paper cranes and coffee, the cafe closing. She gathered up her birds in a small bag. Paper cranes and coffee, going somewhere with 100 wishes and a dream she had. There's something underrated about Thursdays, not Monday's promise or the Friday thrill, but Thursday has a warmth I've come to love. The week almost done, but not yet still. Thursday morning tastes like almost weekend, like the reward is close enough to see. And everything you've done since Monday morning has been worth it, and you feel it being free. A little bit of Thursday almost made it. The weeks accumulated quiet grace. A little bit of Thursday almost weekend. The best position in the working week race. I give myself an extra cup on Thursday. I take the longer route to wherever I'm going. I notice things I let rush past on Monday. The way the week has softened in the blowing. By Thursday you've got rhythm, you've got footing. You know which parts to push and which to ease. The week is in your body like a good song, and you can hear the bridge before it hits with ease. A little bit of Thursday almost made it. The weeks accumulated quiet grace. A little bit of Thursday almost weekend. The best position in the working week race. Monday is the bravest, Sunday is the softest, Thursday is the one that knows itself. It's been through all the week and isn't tired. It's saving all its goodness for itself. A little bit of Thursday, mine to keep now. The coffee good, the morning almost right. A little bit of Thursday in my pocket, carrying the week toward Friday night. There's a bookshop on the corner by the fountain. I go in every Thursday without fail. The smell hits me before I reach the doorway. Paper and the years behind the veil. Old books have a particular perfume, part vanilla, part the dust of decades past, part the hands of everyone who held them, part the stories that were meant to last. The perfume of old books, the morning's treasure, a room full of the past and all its weight. The perfume of old books, the best escape into the words of those who could not wait. I pick up things at random just to smell them, put them to my face the way you shouldn't do, then find the date inside the first edition and hold it like a gift from someone new. A woman wrote her name in 1940 from mother with much love in careful hand. The book was passed and kept and sold and traveled here to my morning and my open hands. The perfume of old books, the morning's treasure, a room full of the past and all its weight. The perfume of old books, the best escape into the words of those who could not wait. Every book is someone's life in residue, the margins full of who they were. And when you beyond the words, the perfume of old books, the shop door closing, the book I chose tucked under my arm, the perfume of old books on Thursday morning, the most beloved and particular charm. I keep the tide table beside my coffee cup. I check it every morning out of habit. High tide at 9 today, low at 3:15. The sea has its schedule, and I have it. There's something calming in the tidal rhythm, and knowing what the water plans to do. The sea has been in conversation with the moon since long before this morning, me and you. Tide table morning, measuring the ocean, living by the pull of something old. Tide table morning, small and salt and coffee, the sea deciding everything I'm told. I walk down to the shore at 8:30 before the high tide finds its final reach, and watch the water climbing toward me slowly, erasing all the footprints on the beach. It always gets there, it never stops or hesitates. The tide arrives exactly when it means to, and I find a comfort in that certainty, and how the ocean always keeps its word. Do you? A tide table morning, measuring the ocean, living by the pull of something old. Tide table morning, small and salt and coffee, the sea deciding everything I'm told. There are forces much larger than our schedules, and the tides are just the most polite. They give you a table so you can plan around them, and still they come in slow and right. Tide table morning, the high tide arriving, the sea at its fullest, the shore retreating. Tide table morning, coffee finished, walking home along the beach of soft repeating. I gave you my spare key in early autumn. You took it like it was the lightest thing, hung it on your keychain with the others, and it jangled there through everything. There's a kind of trust that lives in spare keys, the small commitment that says you can come in. You can let yourself in when I'm not there yet, and make yourself at home and just begin. The spare key, the smallest door of belonging, the brass of it worn down from use and time. The spare key, the ordinary miracle of being someone lets inside. Some mornings I'd come home to coffee made, the kettle still warm, the note on the counter. You'd been and gone, but left the kettle ready. And that small kindness always made things fonder. These are the intimacies that matter, not the grand gestures and the formal vow, but the spare key and the quietly prepared kitchen, the small ongoing proof of here and now. The spare key, the smallest door of belonging, the brass of it worn down from use and time. The spare key, the ordinary miracle of being someone lets inside. Give someone your spare key if you love them. Let them in before they have to knock. The world is cold enough without the waiting. Don't make the people that you love unlock. The spare key on the kitchen hook still hanging, long after everything else has moved and changed. The spare key, proof of all the trust between us, the smallest, most enormous thing exchanged. You know that moment just before it rains, when the air holds something electrical and bright, the smell of earth prepared for what is coming, the world suspended in that half-held light. I've always loved that pause before the downpour, the hush that settles over every street. The leaves turn up their undersides like glistening, and everything alive goes still to meet. Just before the rain, the world holds its breath, most beautiful moment, right before the breaking of the heat. I always try to stay outside a little longer, past the first wise drops that warm the wrist, until the real rain comes and finds me standing, upturned and willing and completely blessed. There are people who run in and people who remain, and I have always been the one who stays, the kind of person who needs to feel the weather before she'll let it wash the week away. Just before the rain, the world holds its breath, the sky gone green and the air gone sharp and sweet. Just before the rain, the most beautiful moment, right before the breaking of the heat. Everything that's coming makes a sound, first a warning that we choose to take or not. And sometimes just before the thing arrives is the truest place to feel what you've got. Just before the rain, I'm still here standing, the first drops on my upturned morning face. Just before the rain, and then the rain arriving and washing everything into its place. I have a room where no one else comes often, just me and the particular light in there. The shelves arranged by color and by feeling, and a chair I've grown into with care. I'm not hiding from the world inside this room, I'm distilling it down to what I need. A place to think without the noise of answering, a space to plant whatever needs to seed. A room of one's own, a small necessary kingdom, where the day can be arranged on my own terms. A room of one's own, the first great kindness, a place where everything belongs that learns. I wrote my best ideas in this room, I cried the kind of crying no one sees. I played music that no one else would like, and drank my tea in full, slow, private peace. They say you need a room to be a writer, I think you need a room to be a person, some space that knows exactly who you are before the world outside has made it worsen. A room of one's own, a small necessary kingdom, where the day can be arranged on my own terms. A room of one's own, the first great kindness, a place where everything belongs that learns. Everyone deserves some room to be themselves, away from to be a room exactly, just a space where you can close the door. A room of one's own, the light across the table, the coffee mug, the papers all arranged. A room of one's own, the day beginning gently, before I go back out to be exchanged. The best seat in the house is by the window, the wide one with the cushions I made myself. I built it on a Sunday 20 springs ago, from lumber and from love and nothing else. I've read 10,000 pages from this perch. I've watched the garden cycle through the years. I've had my coffee here through all 4 seasons, and dried up here the occasional tears. The window seat, my own small observation post, where the world goes on without my needing to. The window seat, the place I always come back to when I need to find my way back through. In summer, the sun hits it in the morning. In winter, it's the warmest spot at noon. In autumn, I can watch the leaves come spiraling. In spring, it's where I wait for something new. My cat once slept here every single afternoon. She had her corner, and I had mine. We'd sit in our respective dignified silences and find the morning beautiful and fine. The window seat, my own small observation post, where the world goes on without my needing to. The window seat, the place I always come back to when I need to find my way back through. Build yourself a window seat if you can, or find the nearest window to your heart. The world needs witnesses who take their places and watch the ordinary fall apart. The window seat, the morning almost over, the garden full and golden in the light. The window seat, I'll be back here tomorrow, and every morning forgetting everything